The men's and women's track and field teams will compete at the NCAA Indoor Championships in Fayetteville, Arkansas, starting on Friday. Senior Michael Lihrman is the defending NCAA champ in the weight throw and enters the meet with the top mark in the country this season. Now we are joined by Director of Track and Field and Cross Country Mick Byrne and Michael Lihrman. Coach Byrne will have an opening statement, then we can take questions.
This week we head to Fayetteville, Arkansas for the Big Ten Championships. On the women's side, we have 3 athletes competing, and on the men's side, 1. On the women's side, Sarah DeSenza will compete in the 5,000 meters. Sarah is currently ranked number 2 in the nation with 15:20. She just lost that number 1 spot recently after Emily Sisson set a collegiate record of 15:12 at the Big East Championships. Sarah's coming off a runner-up spot at the Big Ten where she competed in the 3,000 meters. Also, Kelsey Card coming off a fantastic Big Ten meet. She won the shot put and also the weight throw. And Kelsey will compete in both events at the NCAA Championship. She is currently ranked 7th in the shot put and 5th in the weight throw. Georgia Ellenwood will compete in the pentathlon. She is coming off the runner-up spot at the Big Tens with a score of 4,223 points. She's currently ranked 10th in the nation. At the Big Ten meet, Georgia scored PRs in all 5 events. And as Brian states, on the men's side, to my right here, Michael Lihrman, defending NCAA championship, coming off the Big Ten meet with a win and a new collegiate best.
For Michael, when you were living at your parents' motel and throwing up at Stout, did you ever think that you'd be sitting up there as the best in the country?
Definitely not. It took a lot of hard work, and definitely didn't expect to get where I am right now. But over time and over a time period of different coaches and learning different techniques and kind of a whole new thought process, it kind of just grew into a Division I athlete state of mind, and kind of that's where I got to where I am.
Mick, how remarkable is what he's been able to accomplish?
Yeah, when you look at the progress over the last 2 years, obviously he's a great coach, and Coach Ostrowskis. This morning before he came over here, I was sat down with Coach Ostrowskis and we were talking about Michael, and I asked him straight out, what is it that he brings to the table? And, Coach Ostrowskis said right out from the bat, he says, he's a great student of the event. Weight throw was one of those events in the United States that we don't hype up a lot. It's kind of not, we don't compete in the weight throw, and in Europe. Just was watching over the weekend the European Championships, track and field championships from Prague, and there was no weight throw. So it's just something that's kind of unique to the United States. So I think what Michael's big asset is that he's a student of the event. Obviously, it doesn't hurt the fact that he's 6'5" and a quarter, 6'5" and a half. He has this plus 6-inch wingspan that's, most guys in the weight throw would, their wingspan would be, they probably match their height, but Mike has a plus 6-inch wingspan, so his ratio, his height to the wingspan is just amazing, and I think that's where he gets a lot of his power, a lot of his speed from. He's like a ballet dancer, I remarked to Coach Ostrowskis, but if you look at his feet, the eye-feet coordination, when you see him in the circle, from my point of view, having grown up with the event back in Ireland and back in Europe, he has an incredible ability to just, because of the wide radius of his swing, you see the feet turning so fast, it's almost, you don't see them. So it's that coordination also.
How have you been able to do this, Michael? Seriously.
Like Mick said, it really has to do a lot with being a student of the sport. You know, if you go online and you're going to look up how to throw the weight or a hammer, you're not going to find too much on it. A lot of it comes down to looking at a lot of video, finding people with the same height as you, same weight as you, something you can relate to, which was really hard for me because there aren't that many 6'5" throwers out there. So you kind of got to pick things from each thrower, understand what they're doing, kind of imagine yourself as to the technique that they're doing, and you can kind of know if it's going to work for you. So I've just been able to pick the best from each thrower that I've seen and found something that works for me.
Andy?
Michael, one of the things about being a champion, national champion, world champion, whatever the case might be, is that people are gunning for you, and you have to, when those moments come up, you have to kind of perform. What's been the key in your mind to be able to look at these guys after one NCAA meet after another, one championship after another, and say, you're not going to beat me?
You kind of have to have a champion's mind. You got to not be so much of a pessimist about it, but be an optimist. You got to tell yourself that you're going to win, that you're going to be a champion. I tell myself I've got thousands of throws under my belt, and this is just another meet. And really what it is, it's a reward for all the hard work that you've put in all year. And I'm there to put on a show for people.
For Michael, at this point, is first place enough, or do you have to break a record every time you go out there to be satisfied?
Definitely helps. I love breaking records. And as far as I can see, I only have two that I don't really hold. I don't hold the NCAA meet record, and I don't hold the world record. So those are the two I'm gunning for right now.
What's the NCAA meet record?
I'm actually not sure on that.
What's the world record?
It's 25.86. It's close to 85 feet.
Okay. Who's the best weight thrower you've ever seen? Or do you just look in the mirror?
I don't know. There aren't that many weight throwers, you know. The U.S. is the only country that really throws it. So I think I have pretty good technique, but there's definitely some shorter people who move a lot quicker than I do, which is fun to watch. But Lance Deal, who's the world record holder, there aren't too many videos on him throwing the weight. So, you know, you can't really gain too much from him.
Coach, what are you expecting out of Sarah DeSanza this weekend in the 5K?
Well, as I said, Sarah's currently second in the nation. After her super performance back in December when she set the collegiate #1 time, she had some issues. We had to shut her down for a little bit of time there in January, but she responded. Our trainers did a great job of getting her back to where she is right now. And going into the meet, it's the NCAA Championships. Anything can happen. Probably the favorite for the event would be Emily Sisson from Providence, but Sarah's a great competitor. She went into the Big Ten meet a couple of weekends ago with very little training under her belt, and you could see that competitive spirit, her talent. And she's going to give it everything she's got, and hopefully, you know, time will be on her side. Hopefully, you know, 2 more weeks since training since the Big Ten. So, yeah, we're looking for a real positive result from Sarah.
Andy?
Michael, you said something earlier about you're there to put on a show for people, so you view yourself as a showman?
I expect a lot of people to be coming to watch me throw. So I need to put on a show for them. I got to give them what they came to watch.
Have people come up and said that to you, that they're there to see how you compete, and that's where this has kind of come from?
I guess somewhat. I don't know. I've definitely had people come up to me and say they've been following me all year and they want to take pictures with me and things like that. It's kind of fun, you know, to get the support like that. It's just another motivator for me.
So are there more videos of you on the internet than any other weight thrower?
What do you mean by that?
Just because you said you can't find a lot of video on weight throwers. You
Yeah.
know, might you have more than anybody else now? Because you tend to post a few things, you know?
Yeah. It's not so much that it's hard to find other weight throwers, but it's harder to find the actual throw from someone in their furthest. You know, the world record, that video isn't out. You can't find it. A lot of people's PRs, those videos don't exist. It seems like there's no one there to be taking the video of it. So I've kind of made it my goal to get all of my throws on video so that I can get it posted so that other people can look at them.
Last year when I talked to you, you said that at one time you were an out-of-shape high school kid. Do you still view yourself as a work in progress in that regard physically?
Most definitely. I've always been weak, I would say. When I lost all that weight from high school, I was extremely weak and scrawny, and it's taken a long time to build up my strength. And I still have a long ways to go. If you compare me to other throwers, they're much stronger than me. I could tell them what they're lifting, and they would laugh at me. But you know, it's kind of a motivator for me too, because I've got room to grow, and they don't. So.
Michael, are you recognized on campus? Do people know who you are when you're in class with them?
No, definitely not.
What about Rice Lake?
Oh, yeah.
Michael, you're one of two throwers for Wisconsin going down to the NCAA meet. Kelsey Carter on the women's side will compete in the shot and the weight. What can you say about Kelsey's performance this year?
Kelsey's pretty incredible. It seems like every time she goes to these bigger meets, she shows up. You know, she knows how to compete. And, I mean, even looking at last year, her redshirt year, you know, you saw what she did at Pan Am's. You know, she's a beast when she gets in the ring, and people better watch out.
Anything else for Coach or Michael? All right. Thanks, guys.